Welcome to the Funeral Nation Web Show, the best effing web show. Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode Double Deuce number 22. I am Ryan Thogmartin. That is the funeral commander, Jeff Harbitson. If you don't know who he is, search hashtag the funeral commander. You'll figure it out. So, Jeff, what do we have on the show today?
Hey, this is a great show today. Some exciting announcements. Our guest is launching something brand new in the funeral industry that I think is going to have serious impact. Spotlight on the funeral director is coming from Virginia. The WTF is, something about life celebration. So it's going to be pretty good.
Popping bottles.
Hey, what's going on in the news this week? What's the big buzz?
The biggest buzz right now, Jeff, and we had some prior discussion about this. In Pennsylvania, there's a state senator who is also a funeral director who's trying to push a bill through the Senate that would not allow cemeteries in Pennsylvania to pre-sell burial vaults and caskets, which could be a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I've read through that case and what's going on there. Not case, but the bill. And it really has some merit. And that could set precedent for the rest of the country and be just incredible for funeral homes from a revenue standpoint. And just because the way it looks, it kind of makes sense. So I think we need to keep a close eye on that because that's really, really going to make a effing change in the industry.
Effing right. That's for sure. So it's interesting to see that. And I had some discussions with my father-in-law who owns a burial vault company about just, the impact that could have. And I forget the $1 million number that it is in Pennsylvania that would be up for grabs, essentially, looking at burial vault and casket sales through the cemeteries on a yearly basis. So that would be huge. So absolutely, let's keep our F and I on it and see what kind of F and change comes.
You got a bet on it.
All right, Jeff, our Buzz and News segment was sponsored by Disrupt Media. Of course, this is a shameless plug. Disrupt Media is a social media agency serving the funeral profession, creators of the funeral social design process, and also the creators of the brand new Disrupt You show, which is a Q&A discussion-based social media program really talking about the hot button topics in the funeral profession and how they relate to marketing and social media. So a lot of valuable content, heavy engagement, and heavy upside for the funeral director that watches that.
Excellent. You got it going on. I've enjoyed the show so far. Hey, look, it's great. It's content and it's listening, it's engaging, and it's there. We got to make an effing change. We got to start bringing in this effing brand from every sector for our business. Speaking of brands, today our guest is David Stricker, who is the president of AP Laser. So let's roll that tape for the interview, Ryan.
This week's FN interview segment is brought to you by Memory Care, powered by AP Laser. Memory Care is a life story etched forever. To find out more, visit aplaser.com.
David, welcome to the Funeral Nation TV show. Please tell us a little about yourself and AP Laser.
Thank you. Glad to be here. David Strickler, president of AP Laser, based in Lansing, Michigan. We're very excited to be on the show and talk about the funeral industry.
Excellent.
So, David, we've been talking a lot this year about, we use the hashtag effing branding. And AP Laser literally helps funeral professionals brand themselves with the families they serve. Give us a few details about your product and the services you're providing.
Absolutely. The laser machine in the funeral industry is synonymous with a high-end product, and that is the headstone with a very detailed graphic and text image integration to that headstone. So we think it's the entire future of the funeral industry to have this integrated content beyond the traditional sandblasted name, birth date, death date. And that's just the beginning. I think that capability, as we broaden the experience in the funeral industry of how you can do that with a laser machine, it goes into an entire broader category of marketing. And that's really what we want to talk about.
Well, speaking of which, and broader category and branding, you guys have an announcement that's exciting. Tell us what it is.
Well, we have a theme that we're promoting to really promote the idea that a funeral director could be more than a funeral event director. It's the concept of moving beyond death care and thinking of the industry as memory care. And this is a theme that we'll be talking about at the ICCFA and other events, but it's very powerful because if you understand personalization and customization within headstones and urns, you can take that same skill set and apply it to just about every other product, including motorcycle fuel tanks and trophies for sports teams and lots of other industry specific things that we know the funeral directors are really well plugged into their communities and can do a lot more if they're interested in memorializing events.
Mm.
So please give us a few examples of AP laser memory care that funeral professionals have used and provided results to impact families. So what are some of the specifics and how they're using the product?
You know, I think that the best way to kind of portray that is seeing a headstone. And at our shows at ICCFA, you'll see some of those. It's a very dramatic portrayal of a person's life in one pictorial of a scene. It is emotionally powerful when you see those things. Besides just looking at their name, I think when you go through a cemetery and you see names, you really have a hard time identifying with that person. But this pictorial image is powerful when you see it. And it's very effective at really communicating some of the things that were very important in this person's life. And so you'll see those examples of the power of the etching capability on granite, just as one example. We will definitely talk a lot about cremation as well. It's a smaller, obviously, object, but you can do a lot with that as well. And there's tremendous, let's call it misinformation of what customers should be doing with these urns. There's storage holders for the urns that we want to promote, garden urns, concepts, benches, memorials. There's a lot we can do with the urn rather than just putting the ashes in the urn and that's all you do. There's a tremendous amount of more things we can do to help funeral directors manage that.
Well, you know, it's interesting, David. You guys have done a tremendous amount of research and have good insight on how challenging this market is with cremation. AP laser memory care, I think, is really smart because it can help not only funeral directors with families, but also broaden much needed revenue streams. Will you share with us some other things that could be possible with this product?
Absolutely. And one of the key things about our company is that we're not just a laser company. Supernova, our granite company, has been in the granite industry, serving the funeral industry for 20 years. That's why we're so good at laser application on granite. And so the tag team of Supernova and AP Laser really makes us an expert of what you can do on granite as a surface. And we proliferate those product types around the urn. And it's not just an urn, but there's cabinets, there are benches, there is a very broad variety of things that customers need to be introduced to understand how you manage cremation. It's a very complicated market. It is shifting dramatically, taking over 50% of the market now and going to probably go higher. So we've got to be prepared for that. And there's a lot of products that you've got to get your arms around to know how to, in a memorial setting, how to carefully present the urn and how to take care of the urn.
Great.
Well, David, we're excited to announce that AP Laser, or Memory Care by AP Laser, is the sponsor of our FEIN interview segment. So thank you for that. You guys are going to be at the ICCFA. The FEIN show is going to be there as well. Let's talk a little bit about promotion and what you have and are going to be offering at the ICCFA show.
Absolutely. We've got some events. One, we're going to be demonstrating all the things we talked about in live demonstrations so you can see it at the show. We'd love to see you at the show. We'll be doing some other events to promote the concept of what do you think memory care is. We really want to push the envelope for funeral directors to not just think of themselves as a funeral event coordinator, but think beyond that, because they're a tremendous resource in the community to do a lot more than just managing funerals. And this is part of our presentation, is showing you through the laser machine, you can do a lot more into memorializing people's lives. And I think that's a very powerful message. But we want to engage funeral directors to see how they define it. And that's one of the promotions that we have.
Excellent. Actually, being a memory care specialist is really a great idea. I think you guys are onto something here for the funeral industry with the brand and bringing some real serious change. That's really smart. So we have a closing question now, David. What is the coolest object or message that you've personally seen that AP Laser has engraved so far?
Well, in the funeral industry, it's a dramatic scene, particularly of a veteran that has passed away. And you can get, actually, through a secondary process of adding color to the etch, you can get a very dramatic scene of an American flag and the life of this military veteran. It is emotionally provoking to see that. And so that is probably one of the best scenes, but that's just the beginning.
Wow. Well, we're excited to have you not only here as a sponsor, but also bringing memory care out. This baby has been birthed, and this is a big deal, we think, in the industry. So our FNers out there and everyone's going to be able to really start seeing a lot of information from us, and we're going to also start getting engagement. What does memory care mean? Because I think this is a really good thing for our industry. So we appreciate you being on here. We're excited to have you for a sponsor. And are we going to be able to see you down are you going to be in New Orleans?
I'm going to try to. I've got another conference, unfortunately. I'm going to be, but I know our team is going to be there. And we're committed fully to that show as well as lots of other shows in the industry. So I'm excited about what we're doing with you guys. I think you guys have a great way to provoke industry to think differently. And we love FN Nation, and this is exactly where we want to be, to kind of communicate to the world that there's a better way to think of things, and this is the kind of the right format to start challenging those thought processes.
Gotcha. Well, we're on board. We're on the team, and let's start getting memory care as a regular conversation within our industry. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your team, and we'll see them down in New Orleans shortly. This outstanding interview was brought by our new sponsor, Memory Care by AP Laser. We're really excited because I believe that Memory Care by AP Laser is going to change the dynamics and conversation in our industry. Really smart. Memory Care by AP Laser.
It's exciting, Jeff. Something new, and we've got to get our hands dirty with these guys, and their idea of memory care is pretty sweet. So, thank you, AP Laser and Memory Care by AP Laser for sponsoring the show. All right, Jeff, now on to one of the highlights of what we do here on Funeral Nation is our FEIN Spotlight, where we get to shine some light on funeral directors making a change. So who's our spotlight on today?
Well, our spotlight is not only making change, but showing the profession at its best, making a difference. And our spotlight today comes to an entire funeral home in Fairfax, Virginia. It's Fairfax Memorial Funeral Home. It's a family-owned firm in Fairfax. Just recently, their team provided services for the family of Justice Scalia. The funeral mass was televised live, and the staff of Fairfax Memorial showcased what to the entire world saw as a perfect example of funeral director professionalism and dignified service. So our hats are off to those guys and women. High regards to Fairfax Memorial Funeral Home for their service and positive influence and spotlight on our funeral profession. Great job, guys. We're really proud of what you did out there. Thank you. The spotlight on the funeral director segment was shamelessly brought to you by Simple Funeral Payment Plan. The funeral isn't over until you get paid. There's something to think about. Simple Funeral Payment Plan is a platform to get your accounts receivable and past dues into your bank account. If you want to learn more, visit simplefuneralpaymentplan.com.
As a great spotlight segment, I think anytime you have to handle a high-profile funeral like that, there's really a magnifying glass that goes over a firm. So, great job by those guys. Jeff, now it's time to move into the hilarity of what we do here on Funeral Nation, and it's our F and WTF segment. meaning this is something you are going to talk about Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The WTF segment is brought to us by Save My Ink Forever. Couldn't have a better sponsor. What these guys do really make you scratch your head and go WTF sometimes. So very cool. So shout out to Save My Ink Forever. Jeff, why don't you take a stab at this one first?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. My initial thoughts. This brings a whole new twist to life celebration.
I know the boys up in Pennsylvania just had a heart attack. Jim, what do you think about this? I'm talking a celebration here. I also see that, hey, a couple things. Who says you can't take it with you? And number 3 is saying that was one heck of a party. I don't know if those are empty cases or not.
I think they're full. I think the party's getting ready to start.
Yeah, I hope this isn't a look into home funerals of the future, but whoever did this, they had the stuff right, man.
That's
unbelievable.
Right.
Well,
Awesome.
that's fantastic. So you're going to run our Save My Ink promo,
That's
right?
right. Hit it.
This week's WTF is brought to you by Save My Ink Forever. To learn more about Save My Ink Forever's innovative process, email them at funeral@savemyink.tattoo. Save My Ink Forever. Tattoos offer a lifetime of memories.
Save My Ink Forever. Thank you guys for sponsoring our WTF segment. Well, this wraps up episode Double Deuce. Look, I've been waiting 22 weeks to be able to say Double Deuce.
Deuce.
We're going to say Double Deuce, episode 22. What is on deck for 23? Interesting fact about 23, that's the number of Michael Jordan.
Oh, hey, there you go.
That's a fact. Everybody knows that. So what's on deck for 23?
Well, for number 23, we're really excited because we're going to have Robert Treadway of ICCFA on here, and we're going to do some announcements about the effing show being there and what's going on at ICCFA. We'll always have our spotlight on a funeral director segment, as well as a fresh, what the funeral is that?
That's right. All right, folks. Well, we know it's nearing the end of the episode. The funeral director's, the funeral commander's glasses empty, cigar short.
Sound like I'm the one that's been drinking.
Yeah,
What's
right.
wrong with you over there?
Oh man! Little do people know that it's 5:30 in the morning. We're recording this, and you're already 2 glasses in. So,
Hey, what are you gonna do?
just kidding. All right. Well, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Facebook.com/Funeral Nation TV, @Funeral Nation TV on Twitter. As always, our website, funeralnation.tv. You can get every episode there, as well as submit your Spotlight on a Funeral Director segment and ideas for the WTF segment. The feedback is phenomenal that we're getting. And please comment. Let us know your thoughts below, especially on Facebook. Let's get some discussion going around this bill that's being pushed in Pennsylvania, the impact that can have on the profession. And as always, we love your support and keep engaging with us. So comment below. Just let us know your thoughts. Whether you love us or hate us, tell us. But until next week, have a great effing week.
Out here. Thank you.